I'm a queer woman of color and the proud daughter of immigrants. And I'm running to be your Ward 1 council member. Because only together is that better DC possible. A better DC is possible. But right now, people are getting pushed out. The cost of living is too high.
Rents are on the rise.
Workers are getting laid off.
Thousands facing mass layoffs.
And our neighbors are under attack.
An immigration crackdown in the district. Going to take our capital back.
These are political choices. And it's time we make our own. We can keep people in this city and bring costs down. Cap rents, fight for free childcare, and stand up for our DC, with protections for immigrants and queer and trans people, and support for federal workers. From people fighting for better pay, to seniors trying to age in place, to children going to school every day. Each and every one of us deserves more. My name's Aparna Raj. I'm a renter, I'm a union member, I'm a queer woman of color and the proud daughter of immigrants. And I'm running to be your Ward 1 council member. Because only together is that better DC possible. A better DC is possible. But right now, people are getting pushed out. The cost of living is too high.
Rents are on the rise.
Workers are getting laid off.
Thousands facing mass layoffs.
And our neighbors are under attack.
An immigration crackdown in the district. Going to take our capital back.
These are political choices. And it's time we make our own. We can keep people in this city and bring costs down. Cap rents, fight for free childcare, and stand up for our DC, with protections for immigrants and queer and trans people, and support for federal workers. From people fighting for better pay, to seniors trying to age in place, to children going to school every day. Each and every one of us deserves more. My name's Aparna Raj. I'm a renter, I'm a union member, I'm a queer woman of color and the proud daughter of immigrants. And I'm running to be your Ward 1 council member. Because only together is that better DC possible. A better DC is possible. But right now, people are getting pushed out. The cost of living is too high.
Rents are on the rise.
Workers are getting laid off.
Thousands facing mass layoffs.
And our neighbors are under attack.
An immigration crackdown in the district. Going to take our capital back.
These are political choices. And it's time we make our own. We can keep people in this city and bring costs down. Cap rents, fight for free childcare, and stand up for our DC, with protections for immigrants and queer and trans people, and support for federal workers. From people fighting for better pay, to seniors trying to age in place, to children going to school every day. Each and every one of us deserves more. My name's Aparna Raj. I'm a renter, I'm a union member, I'm a queer woman of color and the proud daughter of immigrants. And I'm running to be your Ward 1 council member. Because only together is that better DC possible. A better DC is possible. But right now, people are getting pushed out. The cost of living is too high.
Rents are on the rise.
Workers are getting laid off.
Thousands facing mass layoffs.
And our neighbors are under attack.
An immigration crackdown in the district. Going to take our capital back.
These are political choices. And it's time we make our own. We can keep people in this city and bring costs down. Cap rents, fight for free childcare, and stand up for our DC, with protections for immigrants and queer and trans people, and support for federal workers. From people fighting for better pay, to seniors trying to age in place, to children going to school every day. Each and every one of us deserves more. My name's Aparna Raj. I'm a renter, I'm a union member, I'm a queer woman of color, and the proud daughter of immigrants. And I'm running to be your Ward 1 council member. Because only together is that better DC possible. A better DC is possible. But right now, people are getting pushed out. The cost of living is too high.
Rents are on the rise.
Workers are getting laid off.
Thousands facing mass layoffs.
And our neighbors are under attack.
An immigration crackdown in the district. Going to take our capital back.
These are political choices. And it's time we make our own. We can keep people in this city and bring costs down. Cap rents, fight for free childcare, and stand up for our DC, with protections for immigrants and queer and trans people, and support for federal workers. From people fighting for better pay, to seniors trying to age in place, to children going to school every day. Each and every one of us deserves more. My name's Aparna Raj. I'm a renter, I'm a union member, I'm a queer woman of color, and the proud daughter of immigrants. And I'm running to be your Ward 1 council member. Because only together is that better DC possible. A better DC is possible. But right now, people are getting pushed out. The cost of living is too high.
Rents are on the rise.
Workers are getting laid off.
Thousands facing mass layoffs.
And our neighbors are under attack.
An immigration crackdown in the district. Going to take our capital back.
These are political choices. And it's time we make our own. We can keep people in this city and bring costs down.
Yeah, we're all moving up. We want to fill in this space. This is a packed room, but we want to make it look like it. Move up here, guys.
Come sit.
Come on up.
Yeah.
Over here. Let's fill in the sides. Let's fill in this side too.
Yeah.
Folks over here. There we go. Everyone come on down. Just everybody on this side, look at what they're doing. That's great. This side, lack of energy. All the way, yeah. There's some open seats over here.
2 seats in the front, right here.
In the front? Yeah.
2 seats.
Right there. Not in the front. You understand? Okay. All right.
Nice, thank you. One more seat in the front.
There's one more seat in front, folks.
Front and center.
Someone grab the seat. No, there's one more seat. Franklin, you want to take
All right, I think we've got some good. We're moving. All right. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I am so happy to see how huge this crowd is. This is amazing. Give it up for yourselves. It's so awesome. I think we can all feel it. This campaign is really electric. There is something different about this campaign, and I'm so happy that we're all here together to celebrate the launch of Aparna for DC. Great. So awesome. So I'm sure that many of you here already donated on day one, because we did break the record for the most day one donors in DC. Yeah, we did break the record. Can I see a show of hands if you did donate on day one? Wow, that's awesome. Now, for those of you who didn't donate on day one or day two, or if you haven't donated yet at all, well, I have good news for you. We can change that tonight. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you were a DC resident, your contribution, if you give $50, your public funds match you 5 times. $50 turns into $300 for this campaign. Any amount you give means so much to this campaign. It's people-powered, no PACs, no corporate funding. So I want to ask you right now, if you haven't yet donated, and you want to give tonight, any amount, can you raise your hand? All right. And I think we have some volunteers floating around with some QR codes. So there's a couple people in the audience who have not yet donated. We need you to give them the QR code to change that today. Thank you, Stu, starting the job. All right, and I'll keep asking you throughout the night, but I'm so happy that you guys are here. We have some great programming tonight. We have some speakers to tell you more about the fight, the moment that we're in right now, the fight that we're having for DC, and why Aparna is the campaign who's gonna fight for us and change all these problems and fix DC, you know? It's gonna be that easy. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we really need a fighter on the council, and I'm really excited that Aparna is putting herself out there to run for us. This campaign is really for every single one of you here, so I'm just super excited that you're all here tonight. All right, so like I mentioned, we're gonna have a few speakers come up, so I wanna introduce the very first speaker. Our first speaker is a longtime tenant leader and a rent control advocate. His name is Roger Williams. Everybody put your hands together for Roger Williams.
Okay, at least I can be heard, I guess. Glad to see everybody here this evening. Excuse me for referring to my notes, but it makes it more concise, I guess. My name is Roger Williams, as already been introduced. I'm an organizer at the Tivoli Gardens Tenants Association in Columbia Heights. And I will be hopefully a member of the still to be launched Greater Washington Area Tenants Union. This evening I'm here, like you, to show my support for Aparna Raj. Ward 1 residents are fortunate to have someone like Aparna committed to winning the seat for this city's pivotal Ward 1 constituency. The workforce in Ward 1 and across the city are faced with many challenges. Aparna and his involvement in seeing that the obstacles are surmounted shows that she will serve as an able representative for Ward 1 and the city at large. Thank you. The first city council vote on the rental act indicates just how many adversaries runners have pitted against them. With Councilmember Nadeau not planning to seek re-election, it is crucial that the regressive forces in this city not fill the Ward 1 seat. It is vital that City Council Member Janice Lewis George continues to have at least one colleague on the council who will help carry the fight. That person is Aparna. Okay, unless there is a significant shift in votes, when the second vote on the rental act occurs, TOPA will be gutted. Next on the chopping block will be rent control. May Aparna Raj prevail in becoming our next Ward 1 council member. Thank you.
Everyone give it up one more time for Roger. The next speaker that I'd like to welcome up is a longtime DC resident and parent, and the campaign chair for Up and Up for DC. Everyone give it up for David Palms. Put your palms together for Palms.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here with you tonight. I was so honored to be asked to, can everyone hear me? I was so honored to be asked to be the campaign chair. I can tell you for sure that of all the campaign chairs, of all the campaigns this cycle, I got the easiest job because look at this room, this is crazy. All right. Also because I know that Aparna's husband, Stu, is the real campaign chair. If you know Stu, if you work for the Board of Elections, that was parody, by the way. I was asked to speak about a very special woman tonight, someone who understands the challenge when it comes to caring for little ones, someone who has fought for and even raised a few of her own. That's right, I'm talking about my wife, Rachel Wynn, right up here in the front. Shout out. She's 8 months pregnant and here tonight. Shout out to Rachel. And we're going to have our third kid under 4, and it's going to be something. We're very privileged. I live in a limited equity cooperative right here in Ward 1. I have a master's degree and have a stable job as a policy manager. Shout out, most common job title in the city, policy manager. And it's hard. It's still very hard, okay? Childcare is a second mortgage, a second rent. And so Rachel has had to put some of her career on pause in order to make that work. So what we don't pay for in time, we pay for in lack of sleep. And it's all worth it, but boy, it sure could be easier if we could all care for each other just a bit more. And so I'm so proud. And that's why I'm so proud to support Aparna's campaign for Ward 1. Give it up. I know that Aparna's going to fight for us. She's going to fight for a higher quality of life here in DC, a more affordable one that lets us live the lives that we want to live without being displaced, without fear, and living it in a way where we can defend and protect and care for each other. So I'm so excited to raise my kids in Ward 1 where Aparna represents us. That's right.
One more time for David and his family. Thank you. All right, now it's my turn, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Eduarda Serafim. Thank you. I am the campaign treasurer, and I'm a DC labor and community organizer. Thank you. So I'm so happy to be here. I am so happy to be here tonight to support my friend and comrade, Aparna Raj. When I first started organizing in DC, Aparna was one of the very first leaders I met. She saw me, a queer woman of color, getting involved in community organizing and took me under her wing. She welcomed me into a movement fighting for dignity, fairness, and justice for all working class people. She helped me find my home in DSA, the largest socialist hub of socialist, leftist, and anti-capitalist organizing for a better world. If you don't know DSA, ask me later. But I will never forget how expertly she planned and led petitioning and canvassing shifts for Initiative 82, which is the 2022 DC ballot initiative that's raising the minimum wage for tipped workers. Let's go, tipped workers. I saw firsthand from that campaign just how committed Aparna was to fighting alongside workers, tipped workers, to win fair wages. You know, and she didn't just talk about worker power, she built it. That's right. She built it, yeah. She developed some worker organizers through that campaign that have gone on to become key leaders in the fight for tipped workers and the Fair Price, Fair Wage Coalition, which she was actually a founding member of. That's fighting to protect Initiative 82. She, as part of that coalition, her mission was to unite workers and community organizations to fight for workers all the time in places where workers don't normally have access to in the DC Council. She opened doors for them. Through that coalition, we all came together and brought workers to the DC Council, lobbied day after day to get tipped workers' wages. And, you know, even with the setbacks in DC Council, we're never giving up because we've learned that worker power is every single day coming together, being in community, and standing up for your rights. Yeah. To this day, Aparna is everywhere that the labor movement needs her. On picket lines, at rallies, standing shoulder to shoulder with workers fighting bad bosses. Aparna knows that workers make DC run. She knows that a union can be the difference between paying your rent or falling behind, between being silenced or having a say in your workplace. That's why she is committed to supporting workers organizing, holding bad bosses accountable, and protecting benefits like healthcare and paid leave. So unlike too many on the council, Aparna knows that there's no ever excuse to balance budgets on the backs of the working class. Yeah. She wouldn't do that. Aparna will fight to make the wealthy pay their fair share so we can sustain the vital programs that our communities rely on. She will. But this campaign isn't just about our rights at work. It's about standing up for our rights as DC residents as a whole. Right now, the Trump administration is trying to tear our city apart. Boom. The federal agents instilling fear and brutalizing our neighbors is just the latest escalation of the Trump administration. We know they've been attacking our city since the beginning of the year, when they started laying off federal workers in droves and leaving them to fend for themselves in a broken unemployment system, where the maximum benefit doesn't even begin to cover the exorbitant cost of living in this city. We know that when they started to demonize our trans siblings and question their right to exist freely, that all of us were made less safe. We knew that when they first came for LA's immigrant community, that they were going to come for us in DC, and that every attack on immigrants is an attack on the promise of America. That's right. I immigrated to this country. That's right. I immigrated to this country with my family when I was 6 years old. And just like Aparna's parents, my parents came here because they believed in the promise of America being a sanctuary for the downtrodden and a place teeming with opportunities to work for a better life for your family. Washington, D.C., as the capital city of our country, needs to uphold that promise of equal rights and opportunities for all people. We need to be a beacon of hope, a sanctuary for all that live and work here, and a model for the best of America. Aparna recognizes that every attack we face so far under the hostile president requires a fighting response. She knows that her responsibility, once she's sworn into that council, is to be our champion, our fighter, and our voice, somebody who will never give up. And I'm confident that she will do just that. Aparna Raj, yeah, give it up for Aparna. Aparna Raj is the daughter of immigrants, a queer woman of color, a renter, a Democratic Socialist, and a proud union member. She's someone who understands in her bones what it means to fight for a city where all of us, whether we've been here for generations or we've just arrived, can build the lives we deserve. So tonight, I am proud to introduce someone who has never stopped organizing, never stopped showing up for our communities, and never stopped fighting for a better DC. Friends, please join me in welcoming your next Ward 1 Council member, Aparna Raj.
Yeah, I'm a lot shorter than all of the other speakers. But oh my God, hi, hello. I want to start off by first with some thank yous. I want to thank my family. My brother is here today, give him a shout out, and my cousin is somewhere. I want to thank my husband, the volunteers who helped put this event together, every single one of you, because none of this would have been possible without every donation, every social media share. I am just absolutely blown away and overwhelmed by the amount of people in this room, and so I just can't thank you all enough. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. When I was younger, when I was growing up, and we would have to deal with financial struggles or with racism or with xenophobia, when my dad got laid off and we were scrambling to figure out what to do, I felt some despair, I felt anger, but I also felt resignation. Because my perspective then, younger, was that I thought that's just the way that things were, and that it was up to us to fight for ourselves, and only us. But then I came to DC, and I dealt with a really terrible landlord and with people who put their greed before the needs and the lives of tenants, and I started organizing. And I started to see the power of organized people. And I saw that we can demand something better, that we can create the world that we want to live in. And I started to feel a little less alone. DC made me who I am today, and I am here running to be your next Ward 1 Council member because I want to fight for the city that I love and for the city that is responsible for every single one of us here. I know that my parents, that my family's ability to stay safe in this country is dependent on the ability of our undocumented neighbors to be able to stay safe. I know that my bodily autonomy and my right to abortion is dependent on my trans and non-binary friends being able to have the health care and the employment protections and just be able to live their lives. I know that I am much closer to becoming homeless than I am to becoming a billionaire, and I know that everything that Trump is doing right now is class warfare and a distraction from the fact that he is making billionaires richer by stealing our health care, our food assistance, our housing, and our education. And looking around this room, I see the power that we all have. We have power to actually try to fight back in a really dark time. This is a moment that's bigger than any one of us. This is a fight to defend Ward 1, and this is a fight to save the soul of DC. As We're here today. Federal troops are marching down our streets. Parents are getting torn away from their kids and thrown into vans. Delivery drivers are getting tackled in the street and punched in the face. Our youth are getting harassed and brutalized for just walking down the street. And we saw a black organizer get pepper sprayed in the metro and brutalized by police. And we're seeing people handcuffed for just sleeping outside to try to survive. Entire lives are being swept away and being treated like unfortunate consequences instead of full people with whole worlds. And for too long, our local leaders have been complicit. Just before this occupation started, our mayor tried to repeal our sanctuary status and is still trying to cut the tenant protections that keep people housed. Our council chose billionaires and lobbyists over the working class by cutting healthcare for tens of thousands of low-income people, slashing tipped worker wages, and giving billions to someone who is already a billionaire. Things have gotten much, much worse for people under Trump, but we need to recognize that it has been a struggle to get by. Many people, predominantly black and brown and working class people, have already been forced out of Ward 1 and forced out of DC, and so many more people are on the brink. These are choices that have been made for us, not with us. But we don't have to accept crumbs anymore. Together, we can demand the DC that we deserve. Imagine if we actually helped people live their fullest lives instead of forcing people to try to claw and protect every right that we do have. We can stop rent hikes and keep people in their homes. We can fully fund childcare so every young family can stay in DC. We can guarantee every single worker a true living wage and predictable schedules and protections on the job. We can make our city safer by actually defending our sanctuary status and by preventing violence before it happens. We can fight for safer streets so no child is lost to traffic violence again. And we can make things easier for small businesses so that DC doesn't become a shell of corporations. We can ensure that our children's shot at a good education doesn't depend on their zip code, and we can have a city that's responsive and actually works for us. And we can defend every single one of our immigrant, our black and brown, our unhoused, our queer and trans neighbors, because that is what is at stake today. As a renter and a tenant organizer, as a union member, as a woman of color and the daughter of immigrants, and as a queer woman, this fight is personal. As your Ward 1 council member, I will fight for each and every one of us to have the life that we deserve, but that only happens if we're all in this fight together. We have Trump and his billionaire allies trying to intimidate us, and we have corporations and developers and lobbyists trying to grind us down. But we are the ones who make DC run. They need us. They need the doctors, they need the students, the bus drivers, the restaurant workers, the construction workers, the custodians, nonprofit workers, the federal workers. They need every single one of us. There are so many more of us than there are of them. We have the power. We have the power, and we will win the world that we deserve. Okay. And because I've been to 1 million Wilson Building rallies, 1 million labor rallies, we're going to end on a chant. All right? I believe that we will win. 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 Thank you all so much. I don't have anything else after this. Please help yourself to drinks or food if you haven't yet, and I'll be around if you want to chat.
Give it up for Aparna! Right. Now, before you go off and mingle and eat and be merry, I'm going to remind you one more time, if you haven't yet donated, there's a chance to donate tonight. We have QR codes at every table. I think we're going to have our floaters running around again. And a reminder, if you have already donated, if you've donated $50, do not give us any more money. The max money that you can give us is $50. So give us $50 one time and never do it again, or give us however many, but keep track, because we will have to refund you, and that's just very annoying as a treasurer. Please don't do that. So give $50. Thank you all so much.